Sunday is here. Happy Halloween to all of you. Thank you for watching NFL Pub Hub right here on Pub Sports Radio, my favorite show of the week. And what a group we have for you guys today. Noli Knows going to jump on with us here shortly. Then Rob Bebeneko, Bebsie. Then Domi Gun Ricci. Diehard MMA podcast. Our guy Clint will be number 4. Then Ski Profit will be 5th. Ski Profit ranked 3rd right now of the 17 cappers that have graced our NFL Pub Hub screen. And then Dutch Boy Fresh will be putting a bow on this. Thank you guys so much for joining us. What a fascinating card we have ahead of us. Shout out to all of you guys. We got Dan Kelly in the house. Says, I'm hoping Steelers score first so I can get the Browns at -2.5. There's Alex Ramirez. Alex Ramirez started the Spidey play of the day, Viper and B. Dan Kelly says, I take Miami +14, except the coaching matchup is one of the best, it's one of the worst. Professor Chris ready to get to work. By the way, Dan Kelly, Kings money line, Sacramento Kings money line, 230 Central. That's at +160. Wyatt Chapman on Lions money line, believing in Dan Campbell. Raymond Reichart here. Anthony Gallo. Luis ready to go. What a great group. Chuck and Six God. Nut Flush Allen. Alfredo Corrales says, is LA covering the 16? I know that our guy Alex Pavone is fading the Rams here with the Texans. Jake Kaiser, Gerald Jones, Big Show Picks, AB, Razor Sharp Picks, who's white hot right now. Jake Kaiser says, nice costume. Thank you. Von Polo in the house. There's Prince of the City ready to go. We got PLC. Says, finally set my alarm to catch you and Noli. Let's go. I love it. Thank you. Burgundy Bets. Rocky Top. Dav Fenn. What a great group. God, I love this. Kenny V in the house. Dan Kelly said, I'm hoping live bet Sacramento Kings because of the early start. There's a chance that the Mavs get out to a first quarter lead, though the charts don't show that. And says, if so, I'll get the Kings with a lot of points. Kenny V, Elio, Anthony Velez, Max on record, Francis. Great group. Thank you guys all for joining us. All right, I want to get Noli on early, so let's get right to work. Take a quick look. Nutflush says that look on the Rams. We'll look at. He likes that look on the Rams. We'll look at the line move. Crypto codes on Bills, Rams, Bucks, Bengals. Truck and Six God says, I like the under in Texans, Rams. I'm already on it, and we got it on Tuesday. So with the announcement that Davis Mills would be the quarterback, we have beaten that line move pretty good. I do have too many totals for me right now, which makes me a little nervous. There's the Kings of the Cap. Those are the top 5 guys on our show at this point. Noli Knows ranked 5th will be our first guest. Can you pop up my action, Jose, on the show? It's been a tough season. We got off to that glorious start for the first 2 weeks, and then we had a rough patch. We have started the week 2-0. Packers +6. Easy casher, and Packers, Arizona under 50.5. Very fortunate, extremely fortunate casher. Then we have a bunch of spots here on the board. Falcons -3. Pitt, Cleveland under 42.5. Philly, Detroit over 48. Bengals, Jets under 43. Rams, Houston under 47.5. Patriots, Chargers under 49. I guess we don't have it up for our graphics, but I'm sure it'll come up later on the show. Washington +3. Giants, Kansas City under 52.5. Patriots +4.5. Jaguars +3.5. And then last night, late, I added an under. There it is right there. I added an under onto my card, and it's one of Noli Knows' unders. So let's go ahead and bring Noli Knows here right on our show. Happy Halloween to all of you guys. Welcome our first guest of the evening, Mr. Noli Knows. Noli, what's happening, man? What's up?
What's going on, DJ? Happy Halloween to everybody. You know how to dress up. Noli loves the kids. What's going on?
Noli Knows looking so good on this Halloween football show. There's Red Girl in the house. Rem, Mo, Sammy, Comer, Stan, Lynch, Larry Garr, Professor Chris. And Dan Kelly says, making unders great again. Then we have a best bets from Sharpie. Let me cap that right. Get that locked in. Marshmallow Knows. Keep Robin says, DJ Marshmallow. I've got So I've got Sharpie's best bets. We will go over them throughout the day. First off, Nolly Knows has been fantastic on this show. This is his 4th appearance on the show. In his first 3 appearances, he's given out 3 unders each show, and he's gone 2-1 in all of them. 2-1 in all of them. He would have better numbers, but he's 1-2 in player props, something that he didn't do last week, and he's not doing this week. The fact that he's gone 2-1, I find so consistent, so impressive. Nolly Knows, happy Halloween. Are you ready to get to work?
Oh, yeah, Jimmy. Excuse the costume. I like to have fun, but when it comes down to cap and it comes down to the unders, we don't mess around, baby.
Let's get started. Nolly Knows. We're going to start with Cincinnati Bengals at New York Jets. It makes me very happy to see you on this spot. I got in on the under 43 on Tuesday. Right now, it's back to 43. Damn, there's 42 and a halves. And I thought, it went down to 42 even. So it opened to 44, went down to 43. There was 42s. I started feeling good about myself. Now we're back to 43s. That does not make me feel very good. Let's move over to the cash flow in this spot. 55,557 tickets in. So 19% of the tickets are on the New York Jets and 50% of the cash. So sharps betting on the Jets. Then we have 42% of tickets and 80% of cash on the under. That makes me feel very good about that. Let's just review a couple of the important injury stuff and the weather. 62 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 11 miles per hour. Bengals have running back Chris Evans ankle out. It's fine. Auden Tate, thigh injuries questionable. Wide receiver, they're a healthy group. For the Jets, Tevin Coleman, hamstring. Defensive lineman Bryce Huff back. As we know, Zach Wilson out. And Trayvon Wesco is also out. Wide receiver Corey Davis doubtful with a hip injury. Safety Ashton Davis shoulder. Tight end Tyler Kroft back. Defensive lineman Shaq Lawson wrist. And linebacker CJ Mosley hamstring questionable. So Hopkins, guard Jackson Carman, and defensive end Trey Hendrickson are full participants in practice. They're going to be good to go, and we get to see Mike White under center. Take it away, Nolly Knows.
Yes, sir, Jimmy. I'm going to have to wing this one. The mask might not make it the whole show. I'll just tell you right now. Didn't think this one through. But, yes, New York Jets, Cincinnati Bengals, a lot having to do, Mike White under center. And so I started digging in a little bit and trying to get a perspective of who the guy is. And I started listening to the scouts. He had a tremendous year over there at Western Kentucky his last 2 seasons, was able to get drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, but took a lot of sacks there in the senior season. And from what I hear from a lot of these scouts is his ability to make the short throws. He can make the short throws all the time, but he has a difficulty with the long throw, with the deep ball. And that's a problem when you play for the New York Jets, a team that has allowed 20 sacks in just 6 games. Then that's sacks to a guy that was mobile. This guy is not exactly mobile. He's worked on it. He has tried to, but it's just not going to work. He went 20 of 32, 202 passes, but he was thrust in there, had a touchdown, 2 interceptions. And so now I think he's going to have a very difficult time against the Bengals defense that has looked good against the pass. Last week, 5 sacks, 7 QB hits. They're tied for 7th in sacks, only 2 behind the leader. They're 5th in hurry percentage. They are 5th in net yards gained per pass attempt. Also, against the rush, 7th against the rush per carry. They're allowing the 5th lowest QB rating allowed. The Bengal defense is coming to play. You look at their percentage of drives ending in a score, they are ranked 3rd, 29.3%. So the Cincinnati Bengals defense has been electric. A lot of that, the offense is keeping them off the field. Joe Burrow playing some tremendous football here, but I expect the Jets to know that they can't outscore this team. I expect the Jets to be able to go with a very, very simple game plan for Mike White here in his very first start. It is a tough ask for him to come out here. I doubled up on this game, right? So the Cincinnati Bengals are 5-2 to the under. A lot of that having to do with their defense. Sometimes they can score too much, but I think the strategy the Jets deployed today, I think that keeps it under the 43. But I also took the team total under for the Jets as well. I've got 16.5, but I don't know what's available today. I'll take whatever's available here today, Jimmy, if you can find me a number on that. But I'm also I'm on both things today.
Well, let's do that. Let's lock you in. I've got a couple different books up right now so I can line shop and see if I can get you an okay team total. Let's get you the under 43 right now at the best juice available. And then we will move on to the next game while I line shop so we don't waste time with having Noli Knows sharing the screen with us right now. So here we go. The under 43. The best line we can give you is at Pinnacle, under 43 at minus 108. For Noli on the board. Gerardo Hernandez says Jets total is 16.5. They do come back and forth from 14.5 and 16.5. So we will take a look. I'll just take a quick look right here. And yeah, 14.5 there at Bet365. I'll take a look at a couple other books. While we're doing that, and let me just put this here, Jets team total under. Let's move on to the next spot on Noli's board. And I find this so fascinating, Noli, because both Bebsie and I moved on the Eagles-Lions over 48. When we did that, Dennis Garcia, who's a spectacular capper, there's Lamont Williams, speaking of spectacular cappers, Lamont Williams in the house, great to see Lamont, and Brooklyn Funk Project in the house. Dennis Garcia replied, my favorite look on the board is the under 48 in this game. So all week I'm staring at the market, wondering, is it going to move? Is it going to move? And sure enough, Pinnacle moves it to 48.5, and I rejoice. None of the other books have, but Pinnacle has moved it to 48.5. When we go to the cash flow here in this spot, 37,362 tickets in. 39% of the tickets on the Eagles, 70% of cash on the Eagles. And look, I like the Eagles here. But I've been hesitant to bet it. Is it still sitting at 3? 3.5s in most books. 3s left at Bodog. So I probably missed that opportunity. And then from a total side of things, 50-50 on the tickets. Wow. And then 60% of the cash on the under, Noli's under. So this is the first time you've given a total in your fourth show now. First time. So you've given out 9 totals. This is the first time where I'm on the other side of you, and I'm very nervous. Take it away here, Noli Knows. There's Dennis Garcia as we speak. There's Eric Swytex. It's hard to argue with the Bengals, but it's a bad spot for Cincy in a huge public play. Take it away, Noli Knows, on this Philly-Detroit game.
Well, I'll say with some of those things, when you talk about the over, I can see some of the concerns. When you look at the Phillies' pass defense, and if you look at some of the Detroit's pass defense, but the one thing you got to take into consideration is who they're playing here today. You know, the Eagles didn't face Jared Goff every time, and that's a big difference here. Jared Goff has not been able to get the job done. Over his last 3 games, 1 touchdown, 4 interception. He is 27th in total QBR. He has allowed 17 sacks. Well, him and his offensive line, not just him, 17 sacks in 7 games. He's only averaging 6.5 yards per attempt. That's good for 28th in the NFL, meaning they're not going down the field much. They're not going down and taking the defense, taking the top off the defense a lot. And another thing, they've been struggling to run the ball, and that's going to be a tough thing because the Eagles have done pretty good in that aspect. They're 8th in the league in rushing yards per attempt. And that's something that if they can make them one-dimensional, then the Detroit Lions are going to start giving up the sacks. That's just what they do. If you start sacking them, Goff is going to start making mistakes. And on the other side, for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, he's had some decent games, but still ranks 22nd in the league in total QBR, 10 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, and has given up 14 sacks as well on that team. So another team that's given up quite a bit of sacks. They're 23rd in passing yards per game and 22nd in pass yards per pass attempt. And I emphasize the pass per pass attempt because that is an important stat to understand the type of offense that they are. Are they going deep? Are they trying to push the pace? Not really the type of offense that they have. Another thing that I'll look at is how the Detroit Lions were able to handle Lamar Jackson, another mobile quarterback with the Baltimore Ravens. That is a key factor when you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles being able to contain Hurts. If he gets outside the tackle box, it makes them a lot more dangerous. And I've seen some games like against the 49ers where he was not able to. He was not able to get outside the line, and I don't expect him to do it again here against the Detroit, who I understand not the greatest defense. They can't give it off the top, but they're also not the worst. They're not as bad as you might think. They just get thrust out there a lot, and it's very difficult to do. They are 9th in rush yards per attempt allowed. They've recorded 14 sacks on the season, and they are 9th in hurry percentage. So like I mentioned, I expect them to slow them down. The Detroit Lions are also 5-2 to the under, and a lot of that having to do with the fact that they're 28th in points per game, but yet they are 13th in time of possession, meaning they're taking a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of nothing, and that's what I like to see here. So I'm on the under 48. I think that number has been adjusted based on those poor passing statistics, but I just think it's a little too much. I'm riding the train under 48.
Under 48. Well, you take the lines that are available right now. So you can have the 48.5. If you wanted it, it's going to cost you 6 cents. 6 cents, minus 116.
No, I'll stick with the 48.
Under 48 at minus 110 for Noli Knows. Here we go, under 48 and under 48 minus 110. And good news, I can get you a 15.5 at FanDuel. Not only that for the Jets team total, but it's just minus 106 juice. So that's a point better than Bet365. It's not quite the 16.5, but it's better than 14.5.
I don't want to pay that crazy juice that I see out there, and that's fine. You know, this is a team that averages 13.3 points per game, and that was with their other guy. You know, here you're bringing in Mike White. You know, the game's going to be real fast out there for him.
Dennis Garcia says, my 4 favorite sides this week include the Jets, the Lions, and fading Brady. Says, going to go broke before the Breeders' Cup. There's Mike M. in the house. Great to see you, Mike M. Lamont Williams, max bet is the Buccaneers. Buccaneers, full game. And he says he likes Ben passing yards under. And the one NBA play is Brooklyn solo under. We just got a horse look from our razor sharp picks. By the way, too, over at Laurel, if Jose could find it, because I'm missing it. We got so much to do. Breeders' Cup's next weekend, Ski. Friday and Saturday, we're going to be live for every Breeders' Cup race. We might even be live for the entire Friday card. We're going to be live for all of Saturday, for sure. But we're deciding whether or not to be live for the entire Friday card or just the Breeders' Cup races. Okay, so let's move forward. We have Noli on the under 48. There's Mr. Gokster in the house. Let's go into our next spot, Noli, and it is Jacksonville Jaguars at Seattle Seahawks. Jaguars at Seahawks, 53 Fahrenheit, sunny 6 miles per hour is the wind. Let's just go over the injuries very quickly. I have them here. Where the hell are they? Sorry, there's so many pages of notes. Here we go. Jaguars only have Jay Tufel out, the defensive tackle. Cornerback Tyson Campbell, defensive tackle Devon Hamilton's shoulder are questionable. And Miles Jack, full participant in practice, no injury designation, good to go. For the Seahawks, safety Marquise Blair, knee out. Of course, Russell Wilson out. And then guard Damian Lewis, shoulder. Tackle Dwayne Brown is sick. And Alex Collins has a groin injury. He's questionable right now. From the market standpoint here, Jacksonville, Seattle opens up at 43. It goes up to 44 or 44.5 and is back to 44. And Seattle opens up as 3-point favorites. They're now 3.5 or 4-point favorites. So I moved on Jacksonville at 3.5. I'm nervous that I saw the 4 there. And when I saw Noli's card and studied it some more last night at around midnight, I tailed Noli Noses under. Break down why you are on this spot. But just before you do, Noli, my man, big shout out to Tony Brusher, a great guy, firefighter. Says, thanks for doing these shows. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for your donation. It means so much to us. Love you, man. Noli, take it away. Why are you on this under?
Yeah, thank you for the support, man. Thanks, guys. Don't say it enough. Jaguars, Seahawks. I mean, why wouldn't you be on the under? I mean, that's more so the question. You know, you got 19.3 points per game for the Jaguars. That's how much they're putting up. They're 25th in yards per pass attempt. There's the stat again. If you look, all these teams that I'm looking at are at the bottom of the barrel in these statistics, and there's a reason for it. Passing leads to touchdowns, so we want to try to avoid that. So if they're going to be throwing shorter passes, intermediate passes, that's what we want to see. We got another rookie quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, who has looked good at times, but still ranks 30th in the NFL in total QBR. So it's not like he's doing a whole lot out there, not getting a whole lot of points. And I think he's going to have a tough time with the Seattle defense, who really stepped up big last week against the New Orleans Saints, held the Saints to just 13 points, held them for 2 of 13 on third down conversion. That makes them 6th in the league in third down conversion rate, and they are 4th in red zone percentage. A team defense that bends but doesn't break, and a team that knew that they had to step up with backup Geno Smith at the helm. Geno Smith is not Russell Wilson, and we have seen it. It has been evident. And where you see it is in the sacks. He's taken 5 sacks in each of the last 2 games. That has been an issue with the Seattle Seahawks for years. But Russell Wilson has been able to mask that, put a Band-Aid over that with his mobility. But Geno Smith doesn't have that. His numbers outside of the tackle box have been horrific. If the Jaguars can get a little bit of pressure on him, he's going to make some mistake. And a big part of it, the Jaguars getting healthy. You know, they had the extra week to prepare, coming off a W. The defense gets a little bit healthier. They've been dealing with some injuries, and I think it's a good time. I mentioned the difference between Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was averaging 9.6 yards per attempt. That was number 1 in the NFL when he left. Now they're averaging 6.9 yards per attempt. That would be tied for 24th in the NFL. And I looked also last week with against New Orleans. Geno Smith goes 12 of 22 for 167 yards, but 84 of those were on one play. So if you look, all other passes, 11 of 21 for 83 yards. That is good for a 3.9 yard per pass attempt. That is not good at all. Very, very basic. And they might have a little bit of trouble establishing the run against the Jaguars. The one thing the defense has done good all year, tied 4th in opponents' yards per rush attempt at just 3.8. They can make Geno Smith one-dimensional. I like the under. And both of these teams, if you look at it, a combined 9-3-1 to the under, 4-2 for the Jaguars, 5-1-1 for the Seahawks this season. And that's the only way that I'm going to be looking, especially if you got Geno Smith at quarterback. I'm looking under 44.5. If I'll take the 44 if that's available right now, Jimmy, whatever's available.
I love it. I love the breakdown. You have a choice here: under 44.5 at -110, or under 44 at -102.
I'll take the 110. I like the hook on the 44.
So do I. That makes a ton of sense to me. Under 44. Sorry, let me just get this here. Sorry, there we go. Noli, we've got to move on to Bebsie, but I'd love to ask you very quickly. Do you understand why? Do you have any faith in why? Just very quickly, why this is moving possibly to 4 for Seattle? And from the 3.5, why money seems to be coming in on Seattle. And just here's the cash: 61% of the tickets are on Seattle, 54% of the cash, and then 35% of the tickets are on the under, and 32% of cash is on the under, which is nerve-wracking. But I still like it. Why do you think it could be moving towards the Seahawks here?
The Seahawks, I think the one thing that when you look at some of Geno Smith's statistics inside the box, they are elite. And it's hard to say that about Geno Smith, the backup quarterback right now. And the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars have had the difficulty of moving quarterbacks outside of that box. And that's the difficulty here. In my opinion, I think they do get it done. They are going to be able to do it against a lesser offensive line in the Seattle Seahawks. But I think that's the concern. That's the weakness for the Jaguars is passing. And if Geno Smith can get it done passing, might be in a little bit of trouble there. But in my opinion, I think the extra week to get healthier, I think they'll be able to apply some pressure there.
I love it. I love it. Again, Noli Knows has done 3 shows with us already, and every show 2-1 on unders. He's been so strong on unders. He has 4 picks right now. Let's review them quickly. He's on the under 43 at -108 in Bengals Jets, and team total under 15.5 for the Jets at -106. He's on the under 48 in Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions, and in Jaguars Seahawks under 44.5. It's hard to have best bets and all that stuff, but we do have a question from Rem Most, whom we love and who's such an OG and sticks with us through everything. Is there any spot that you like the best? And you don't have to. I
think this was a little tough here, but I didn't want to have to say this, but I like the Lions under the best, probably.
That scares me. So we're going heads up on that shit. Noli, I love working with you so much. You look great. Marshmallow Noli, holy Noli in the house. Follow our man on Twitter at Noli Knows. And I know you're off to your son's game right now. Thank you so much for joining us, my man, and have a giant Sunday.
Oh, thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate you. Have fun out there, guys. Don't take yourself too serious. Have some fun out there today, and good luck on your bets, man.
There he is. Noli Knows in the house. We got looks from Penny Bombs. He's on Lions plus 3.5. Steelers plus 4. Titans money line. Tampa Bay minus 4. And Washington football team money line at plus 165. All right, time to bring on your next guest, my co-host every Tuesday night. I love working with this man. Please welcome to the show, Bebsie in the house. Bebsie, how are you, my man? You're muted, my guy.
Oh, sorry, buddy. I didn't know we were supposed to dress up like Noli, so I threw on some glasses. Does that work? I know it's not a bucket. I don't know what his costume was, but this is the best I can do on short notice.
No problem, Bebsie. No problem. Great to have you here. Great to see you. Let's review your action here. Let me just pop this off. That was excellent. And then go over your additions. So let's go over your action and let's talk about what you are comfortable with. We're going to start with Browns. You have the Browns first half minus 2.5, full game minus 3.5. Baker is in. This total opened at 43.5 and was dropping, but it's coming back up. Pinnacle's moved it to 42.5. Did Pinnacle go lower than that? No, Pinnacle's never gone lower than that. So Baker has not changed the total there. Let's go to the spread. That has changed. As Bebsie got the 2.5 and the 3.5, it's now 4s right across the board. Bebsie, how you feel about your Browns look with Baker in?
I still love it. Baker's a tiny boost for me, but not that much. Honestly, Case can run that offense just as well as he can. It matters more about that offensive line. Chubb being in the game is
okay. We lost Bebsie there for a second. Sorry. I thought he was back. He's not. Okay, there he is, back in action. Okay. So you were saying Chubb being back in the game? Bebsie?
Yeah.
You said Chubb being back in the game. That's when we lost you.
That's pretty much all I said. Chubb being back in the game is huge.
Beautiful. Okay, next up, you are going up against a huge market move. You took the Titans as a pick'em at minus 110. Colts are now 2.5 point. Bet 365, and Bodog just moved the Colts to 3-point favorites. What do you think of that market move, and does that scare you?
I can't feel good about it. And I was talking to Pavone about this too, and he was screaming at me. And we're at odds in this one. I just have to believe in the Titans. I think they're a better football team. The way this market has moved, it scares the shit out of me. So I'm probably wrong on this one.
You took and by the way, we'll go over the cash flow with all these spots. For the Pittsburgh-Cleveland spot, 46% of the tickets are on the Browns, 84% of the cash on the Browns, and it's moved a half point to 4th. Interesting. 48% of tickets are on the under and 75% cash on the under. For Bebsie's next spot here, which is the Titans minus 110. It's wild. 59% of the tickets are on the Titans. 55% of the cash is on the Titans. And we've seen this giant market move towards the Colts. Then we have 41% of tickets on the under, 80% of cash on the under. Your next spot is the Eagles minus 3. And you paid minus 121 to get them at 3 points here. They're now at 3.5 across the board, but I thought I saw a 4. Let me check that very quickly here for Philadelphia. No, there is a 3 again. Wow, it's back to 3. Wow, this market's moving so fast. So it's back to 3 again, which is where you got it, and there's even less juice now. Very, very, very interesting. You have 39,430 tickets in, 40% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the Eagles, and then 51% of the tickets, 62% of the cash on the over. We also are on the over in this spot. Can you quickly touch on your Eagles and the over?
Yeah, I mean, I just see this as a very winnable game for them. Yeah, they've dealt with some injuries. Look, I'm not super excited anytime I'm betting on the Eagles. as our boy Prince in the City would say. But I don't know. Like sometimes it's a gut play with me. This is another situation in which it is totally the gut. And look, you got to win games against bad teams, and they're playing a bad team this week. So a lot of people are like, oh, Detroit's going to do this week. I just don't see it.
And Brandon Lugo, our guy, OG Lowbagger, now Brandon Lugo, saying that Calvin Ridley out for personal reasons. This just in. Let's move on to the Patriots Chargers under. You took the first half under, expecting a slow start. I took the full game under, and I believe this has gone against us. It had, as of a couple of days ago, yes, geez, up to 50.5. Does that make you uncomfortable? And now the Chargers are down to 4-point favorites, so people backing the Patriots, I'm one of them. Does that make you at all uncomfortable?
Okay. Look, I hate that several of my games already have had the market move against me, so maybe I'm just cold as fuck, and it's not going to heat up this week. Or maybe now that everyone's moving against me and this year's been kind of twisted, maybe this is the week where I got it and everyone else is fucked. Who knows?
Yeah, because the next spot is the Bucks. You have the double up 3-5, and it has moved to a 4 full game. You still think the Bucks take care of business in New Orleans? I
do. I mean, really, this comes down to the Bucks got embarrassed last year when they played the Saints in the regular season. Obviously, got their revenge, but this Bucks team, top to bottom, is so good. The offense for the Saints runs entirely through Alvin Kamara, and I don't think this is going to be a revenge game for Jameis Winston. I don't think they can put it together. I just think the Bucks are a much better team.
I can't wait
to see you wearing a Saints hat like you're trying to get in my head.
I've stayed off that game. All right, let's move on.
What the hell? What the hell, Bebsie? You're not going to support our guy Jameis?
Buddy, I'm properly hot and cold on Jameis. I'm doing this literally for your clips.
You're right. Hey, when you're right, you're right.
All right, let's move on to your prop bets and your additions. We don't have a ton of time. Let's go through them quickly here. We start with Panthers, Falcons. The injury report on the Falcons is none, and Brandon Lugo and Jake Kaiser and others letting us know that Calvin Ridley is out due to personal reasons. And then we have Panthers dealing with Terrace Marshall, wide receiver concussion. It's not a big deal. Defensive end Daryl Johnson, hamstring out. Cornerback C.J. Henderson, shoulder. Linebacker Shaq Thompson, questionable. Talk us through your look here. Bebsie's moved on Kyle Pitts over 62.5 receiving yards. Talk us through it.
Well, look, we're amidst the Kyle Pitts coming out party. This guy's had 2 monster games in a row. I don't think it stops. I mean, honestly, with Calvin Ridley out, that only helps this prop. He's finally gaining that chemistry with Matt Ryan. We've seen what this guy can do in college. He's starting to do it now in the NFL. He is an absolute freak of a player, and I'm going to jump on it while I can still get these low numbers for him.
Over 62.5 receiving yards. Your next spot is in the Bengals-Jets game. Walk us through your look here on Jamar Chase over 77.5 receiving yards.
Look, another spot where this guy's number 2 in the NFL in receiving behind only Cooper Kupp in his rookie season. He's going against a Jets defense that doesn't pose much of a threat to them. So I think, again, it's just going to be a pitch and catch game with Burrow and his boy from LSU. I think he smashes this spot.
Next up for you is over in this Philly-Detroit game. You have a look on Swift, DeAndre Swift, over 50.5 rush yards. Walk us through it.
Look, this is I think he's now establishing himself as a dominant runner, and the books haven't caught up with his number yet. So I think 49.5, given that he's going to be their primary weapon out of the backfield. And also, really, the only target they have beyond him is Hawkinson. So if this offense for Detroit is going to be efficient at all, it's got to run through Swift. I think we are lucky to still be able to get a number this low. I think in the coming weeks, you're going to see that number skyrocket.
The next spot for you is in the 49ers-Bears game. You've moved on to rushing props, but I want you to touch on the market here and if there's anything that interests you at all side total. One, this total was so low. We saw 39s, 38.5s, and then 39.5s. It did open at 39.5, immediately went under. It's now back up to 40, and the Niners have moved to -4. From a cash flow side of things here, 32,330 tickets in, 40% of the tickets on the Bears, 52% of the cash, and it's moved a half point towards the Niners. Then we have 51% of tickets, 80% of cash on the under, and it's moved a half point up. So the market kind of funky movements from the market here. Do you have any interest in side or total? I know you haven't moved on either, but can you walk us through what your feelings on this Niners-Bears spot?
Look, I haven't seen either offense impress me even in the slightest this year. So I realize I'm saying that as I have rush props for both teams. But these two teams really have had trouble getting their offenses going. So I think I would still lean under in this game. And I have no idea who's going to come out on top. I know which team is better on paper, but they haven't shown it at all this year. So I mean, let's go Niners. Love them, but I can't back them right now. They're just playing awful football.
You've moved on two props. You've moved on Khalil Herbert over 65.5 rush yards and Eli Mitchell over 71.5 rush yards. Walk us through them.
Well, the Herbert move is basically because Javon Kinlaw just had season-ending knee surgery. He was questionable for a couple of weeks, and they're just decided to shut him down for the year and get that knee cleaned up. He is a huge space eater. While his stats don't jump off the board at you, he's so important in the middle of that defense. And Mo Hurst, if he does play, he's not playing at 100%. Those are the two biggest DTs. So this is why I moved on Jonathan Taylor's rush prop last week, because those two guys were out, and he cashed that well early and easily. And I think Herbert's going to do the same here. Now on the other side with Elijah Mitchell, Shanahan, he when he loves a guy, he keeps playing him, and Mitchell's been playing well when he's been healthy, and so you're going to see him get fed the ball. You're not going to see a lot of carries from Trey Sermon. Jermichael Hasty is a fine third down back, but he's not going to carry the load ever. So I expect a lot of carries for Elijah Mitchell. Look, this is still a run game that can put up yards.
Finally, you have a double up on the Cowboys rush props, and it's an interesting spot that we're sitting in. Clearly, with this big move towards the Vikings, Vikings opening up as 2.5-point dogs in some books, now 2.5-point favorites. So a 5-point move towards them was all predicated on the idea that Dak wouldn't be in. It felt like someone had inside information that Dak wouldn't be in, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. But it is expected, I guess. 38,661 tickets in, 40% of the tickets on Minnesota, but 64% of the cash. Then 44% of tickets on the under, 63% of cash on the under. We have a spot where the Cowboys have Dak with the calf, Tyron Smith with the ankle, defensive end Dorrance Armstrong, all questionable. For the Vikings, Pierce with the elbow is out. And then defensive end Patrick Jones' knee is doubtful. D.D. Westbrook, ankle questionable. So these Cowboys are in a stretch of 6 games in 33 days. Could we see Cooper Rush behind center here? And for the Vikes, Anthony Barr, Alexander Madison, Adam Thielen, no injury designation, good to go. Walk us through this Cowboy double up on the rushing props with Elliott and Pollard.
Well, I mean, the Dak being questionable thing was a big catalyst in me choosing this, because I think if Dak does play, and that he is going to play if he can, that means, like, if he's even close to being able to play, he's going to step in on this game. And then if he is in this game, you got to expect they're not going to put a ton of stress on him. They're going to lean on the running game. So I'm going to be worried if Cooper Rush comes into this game, because quite frankly, they'll just stack the box and they'll force him to throw, and it's going to be really tough for these props to cash. I was a little bit weary on the Zeke prop being a touch high, but if Pollard's not having a big game, they're going to lean on Zeke. So that was my reason for the double up. Of course, you've heard my logic on that many times, but I think Dak plays. However, they play conservative with him, and they try and attack this defense with their run game.
Sorry, Bebsy, you cut out there for a second, but we got the gist of it. I'm just putting your prop bets here in the chat. There it is. Those are the Bebsy prop bets in business. So quick review of your action, Bebsy. You've added Kyle Pitts over 62.5 receiving yards, Jamar Chase over 77.5 receiving yards, DeAndre Swift over 50.5 rush yards, Khalil Herbert over 65.5 rush yards, Elisha Mitchell over 71.5 rush yards, Zeke over 75.5 rush yards, and Pollard over 42.5 rush yards. And then we have his other bets there on top. Bebsy, we need a day. We need a day. I'll be cheering for us enormously, but I will be trick or treating with Ella. So I'm going to be paying my palms will be leaking out on the streets of Parkdale. But I'm joking about Parkdale. We don't trick or treat in this fucking shithole. We're going to go to.
You know what you're getting in that bag.
Yeah, we're going to a much wealthier neighborhood. Bebsy, thank you so much, my man. Have yourself a giant Sunday, and can't wait to break down the card with you in 2 days' time.
We'll see you Tuesday, baby. Have a great day.
There he is. Rob Bebenek in the house. Rob_Bebenek on Twitter. We bring up your next guest, and I'm so excited to have him on. Absolutely spectacular capper, legend in the low bag circles, and he would be coming in 2-1 on the show, but he did add a big prop on his first show, prop parlay that paid at plus 526 that didn't cash. So, he is 2-2, down to 0.1 units, but an average line of plus 199. And I can't wait to watch him rock on this channel right now. Please welcome to the show, Dom Ricci, a.k.a. Dommy Gun in the house. Dommy, how are you?
Hey, Jimmy. How's it going, buddy? Everybody okay out in low bag land? Can you hear me good?
Everybody is okay out in low bag land. I see that you added a bet here. So let me just.
I did. I added a prop bet to go along with my buddy Bebsy. I'm kind of on a few of the same things he is, maybe in different forms, but I mean, we can jump right into it if you want. The Bengals and the Jets.
Yes, Bengals and the Jets is a common theme here with a bunch of our cappers. So we've already discussed the injury issues on either side of the ball. Yes. Mike White starting under center. These are bets that you've made earlier in the week, and now you're adding a prop. So let's start with you being on the Bengals. You got in early -9 at -120, but you added them first half, which is a bet that I see a lot of our friends and colleagues on. Bengals first half -6.5. Talk to us first about this Bengals double up.
Yes, I jumped on the Bengals early Monday. I actually made a couple bets Monday very early, which I don't usually do. And I don't usually make three. I usually only do one. Like I've told you before, I think that whole betting early thing is changing. That's something we're going to have to get into it at another time. But I did make three bets this week. I jumped on the Bengals, and I did get them at -9, -120. I did see them open up actually at 8.5. I never seen that number. I did see the 9 early, and that was really early Monday morning, and I took the -9. I added the first half on Friday, -6.5, and that was at -110.
Bengals -9, a full game, which is a great score. Bengals first half -6.5. What is it that makes you so bullish on the Bengals? What do you see happening with this Jets team that will help you cash both these bets?
The Bengals are a different team. Okay. I think I froze for a minute.
You're good. You're good.
The Bengals this year are different than any other year so far. They're defensively playing good finally. They've had that offense working a little bit better every year, but now they're clicking, man. You know, you guys break down players so well that I try to keep, especially for the show, to keep more on a team capping. But we all know what Joe Burrow's doing. We know what Chase is doing. I mean, Chase has 700 and.
All right, we have
they're clicking, and it's not just Burrow and Chase. It's not just Burrow and Chase. He has a couple more weapons also. So, and then listen, we got the Jets. The Jets are in this transition year. I said at the beginning of the year that they weren't going to be good. I didn't believe in Zach Wilson. I didn't believe he could last the whole year without getting injured. And unfortunately, I was right. So we have Mike White coming in. I mean, it's not the biggest cap in the world picking the Bengals, But I don't like that the line went up to 11. Is it 11 right now?
Yes, it's moving very, very quickly here. We even have 11 and a halves. All right, we have some internet issues here with Domi, but he's back right now. Domi, talk to us about the Burrow over 267.5 passing yards.
Yes, I took Burrow over 267.5 yards minus 120. I just took it this morning. I feel like, he's
Okay, we got some internet issues with Domi. Domi, can you try maybe coming out?
And I feel
because it's choppy and also the audio is a little choppy. So we'll see if Jose can pull him back in. So Domi's on the Bengals -9 at -120. Bengals first half -6.5 -110. Burrow over 267.5 passing yards. And I've stayed off of this spot except for the under 43. Dennis Garcia says Cincinnati third straight road game. You want a negative NFL trend that has worked for years? Fade a team in their third straight road game when they won and covered the first two. So there we go. Okay, so let's move on to the next spot on Domi's card, and he'll be joining us here in a second. And Dennis Garcia says Cincinnati not only applies, they're coming off a statement win in Baltimore, playing the lowly Jets on the road, laying doubles. Hardly seems like a positive proposition. I can understand that breakdown as well. Jacksonville's hosting 11.5 on 3 of the books. So Dom's next spot, he's going to be joining us here, is Patriots Chargers is the next spot for Domi Gunn. And this is when we're going to go back to the whether or not you should get in on these bets early. It's never been more treacherous, making early bets in sports with the COVID hanging over everything right now. And Domi uncomfortable with making them. And I can understand that. Let's see if we got Domi back in business. That doesn't look promising. Looks frozen to me. Oh, wait. Domi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jim. So I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. I'll just make it quick. I know it's good.
All right. You know what?
I'll just get into it.
Domi, it's too scratchy here.
Yes,
let's just try one more time. We're going to pull him out. We'll try one more time, see if we can get him back in here, and then we'll give it one more shot here. Domi, talk to me.
Okay, babe.
Your next spot, Patriots Chargers. You got in early on the Chargers, and you have a teaser. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I have the Chargers. I took the Chargers early in the week on Monday, which I got a bad line -5.5, but I did tease them with the down to +0.5, and I also I teased them with the over 42, the Lions Eagles game. I believe that game goes over.
Okay, we're going to I'll just let you guys know what Domi's
Lions
here is
Chargers +0.5.
His internet's acting up here, Domi. We'll get you right here another time. Sorry that this went down like that. Apologies to our viewers. We love Domi very much. I'll go over what Domi's on. Domi's on the Chargers -5.5 and -110, and he has a teaser with the Chargers +0.5 and Cincinnati, Detroit over 42. Cincinnati, Detroit over 42. Professor Chris got the Pats +6. Jacksonville's O said he got on the Pats +4.5. I have the Pats +4.5 as well. And then Domi's last look, he's also on the Jaguars Seahawks under 45 at -120. Under 45 at -120. That's the same look that Arnoli Knows is on, and I also bet that last night as well. So I agree with those looks. Again, from Domi Gunrici, Bengals -9, -120. So he got in on that early. He also got in on the Chargers -5.5 early. So the one worked out well for him. The other did not quite as much. Bengals first half -6.5. Burrow over 267.5 passing yards. And then he's on the under 45 in Jacksonville, Jaguars, Seattle Seahawks. Let's bring on our next guest. Star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. He joined us. Which week did he join us? Let me pull up my Pub Hub records here. He joined us on week 2, went 3 wins and 2 losses, plus 0.8 units, currently ranked 8th out of the 17 cappers here on the show. We have more cappers plus. We have 9 of our 17 cappers are in the black, and overall we're in the black. Please welcome to the show our guy, MMA star on the channel, Clint in the house. Looking good, man.
Good morning.
How are you, buddy?
Doing great, Jimmy. Primetime game for my Vikings. How are you today?
I'm great, man. Happy Halloween. It's a fun day for all of us that have families and kids all excited. My daughter dressed as Peppa Pig today. She's very excited about the day. Let's go over your action here. We start 1 p.m. Eastern. You are also attacking the Bengals New York Jets game. 62 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 11 miles per hour. This is a bet that 3 of you guys are on the show. We've already heard Dommy on it. You are on this as well. Please walk us through your look here in Jets Bengals.
Jimmy, I'm just going to follow right up on what some of the stuff that Dommy Gunn said. I'm on the first half, -6.5. This is a spot where the Bengals, they look better than they ever have before. They're feeling themselves. They've learned how to win, but they've got a big game on deck next week. These are the lowly Jets. Yes, they're on the road for the 3rd straight win, so I can't necessarily count on them to keep the focus throughout the entire course of the game. And I don't care what anybody says, double digits in the NFL is a lot of points. So just give me the 6.5 on the first half. I hope they go out there, get a comfortable lead, blow these Jets out, and then I don't have to worry about a back door. I'll take the -6.5, -115.
Bengals first half, -6.5 at -115 is how Clint starts his card. Next up for you is this wildly interesting Titans-Colts game. This spread has moved fast and furiously towards the Colts, who are now 3-point favorites at both Bodog and Bet365. The 2.5 at Pinnacles at -122, so that's going to move to 3 very soon. This total opened up at 48.5 and a shot up to 51. We're going to go back over to the cash flow in this spot. We have 55,910 tickets in, 60% of the tickets, 55% of the cash on the Titans, and 41% of the tickets, 84% of the cash on the under. We have injury issues, so let's just talk about them quickly before we hear Clint's look. Fullback Blasingame, knee injury, running back Darrington Evans, knee injury, and Julio Jones out with a hamstring injury. And that's a blow to this offense. They have Marcus Johnson. They have Josh Reynolds. They have receivers that can fill the void, but that's a blow. Defensive back Chris Jackson, foot. Defensive tackle Tart, groin. Kendall Lamb, ankle. Rashawn Evans, linebacker, ankle, are questionable. For the Colts, Keys, their cornerback, hamstring, out. And then Braden Smith, their offensive lineman, foot, thumb. Wide receiver T.Y. Hilton with the quad injury, and cornerback Xavier Rhodes with a calf injury are questionable. Smith and Rhodes did practice in full after being limited all week. So they're supposed to be good to go. And Wentz says his wobbly ankles feel better as well. Take it away here. Your next spot on the card, Clint.
Jimmy, I'm going over, buddy. Give me the over 51. I wish I had got in on it a little bit earlier when it was at that 48 or even at 50, something like that. But I'm on the over 51. I think we're going to see a bit of a shootout here. The Colts are finally starting to feel themselves. I know Wentz's ankles are definitely an issue. I hear he was a dancer in the past. Maybe he's got some weak ankles left over from that, but he's starting to turn things up a bit. The Colts are putting it together. The receiving core is doing good work. I like everything I see from the Colts, and honestly, I thought about laying the Colts straight on the money line, but the fact is the Titans right now are rolling. You can't stop this offense. You cannot stop King Henry, and we've got defensive injuries on both sides of the ball. I think that's going to open up the offense. It's a bit of a letdown spot for the Titans coming off of back-to-back 2 major games. I can see the Colts getting out early, but I don't have any faith in their ability to lock this game down. So I think the Titans can roar back into this thing at any point in time they want to. Give me over 51.
Over 51 for our guy, Clint Starr, the Die Hard MMA podcast. And there was a question, did Ron Crawford give out a spreadsheet play on the show? Yes, he did. It was the Patriots. He gave out the Patriots earlier in the week, Raymond. And you got the over 51 at -115. Next spot on your card, let's break down your prop look before we go into the teaser. So let's break down the prop look before we go into the teaser. You have Carolina Panthers at Atlanta Falcons. We did just hear that these Falcons are missing Calvin Ridley, who is out for personal reasons. Break us down your prop bet here that you are making on the quarterback for the Carolina Panthers.
So, Jimmy, I think today we see the return of the Panthers quarterback here. I think my boy is finally going to stop seeing ghosts. He's been out there running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And I think that we finally see a return to form. Sam Darnold has had a couple of really tough last couple of games. They're on a fight. I'm thinking MMA. They're on a 4-game skid here. I think they finally get some confidence back. They snap that, and they don't have their key running back. They don't have the big boy in the back to hand the ball off to. And Chuba Hubbard, he's been okay, right? He's been okay, but he hasn't been anything special. Sam Darnold is the best running back on the Panthers team right now. So when they get down in goal line situations, I think he makes it across the goal line today. I think he doesn't trust his arm. I think he uses those feet, and I think he falls into the end zone today. I think it's worth a sprinkle to get that man a touchdown. I think, let's see, did I get plus 260? Is that what I sent you?
Yes, you got
plus 260.
Plus 260 on the anytime touchdown. He has looked good around the goal line when he's not been throwing.
Exactly. And I think they're going to lean into that. Those first couple games where they got some dubs, they looked good. They played competitively with the Dallas Cowboys. That's when he was running across the goal line, getting those touchdowns in instead of throwing interceptions on the goal line. So I think we're going to kind of get back into that. And let's be honest, man, the Falcons, they put people in goal line situations for free. They take all kinds of penalties. They give up yardage. They allow people to get in deep on them. They blow leads. We've seen it time and time again. So I think we're going to end up on the goal line, and I think it's going to come down to Darnold's legs at some point in this game. I'll take plus 260.
Plus 260 for Darnold. Jacksonville Zoe says, I cannot bet Carolina until CMC is back. I am on the Falcons -3. Let's just take one last look at what's going on with this market here. We have -105 for Atlanta, +3 at -105. This was yesterday at 9 p.m. an even money bet at +100. But again, it did open at 2.5. And then from the total side of things, we have it at opening up at 47, now at 46.5. And when we go over to the cash flow in this spot, 38,875 tickets in, 58% of the tickets, 58% of the cash on the spread on the Falcons, and then 44% of tickets, 77% cash on the under. Next spot for you is a teaser. You are using the Panthers at +9. And who are you hooking up the Panthers with?
I'm going to hook those up with the Pats, Jimmy. So for everything that I just said on the Panthers, I'm going to go ahead and tease them up to +9. I don't want to go directly head-to-head with you on that +3-point spread. I think it'll be a close game, but I think that the Falcons have a tendency to leave that back door open. So I will take 9 on that game. I expect it to be a one-score game in the end. The Patriots, very similar story. We've heard a couple of our esteemed cappers. I think Ron Crawford's play of the day on the Patriots. It's another spot, Jimmy, where I'm just a bit of a coward. I don't want to pay that. I don't want to lay I don't want to use the +4. I want +10. I'm a little worried about these Patriots. They're looking good. They're feeling themselves coming off of a big win, but they have been a little up and down throughout the season. They're putting it together. They played closely with the Cowboys. They got some backdoor opportunity there to bring that game tight at the end, and I think that might be a situation that we see here today. They keep it low scoring. They keep it close. Bill Belichick has a way of taking away the best option for the opposing team. So if we keep this one tight, I think they can cover 10.5. I'm not entirely confident in them covering a +4, but I think getting over a touchdown, it's a pretty easy spot.
Panthers +9, Patriots +10.5. That teaser is at -119. Let's review your action one more time. We have Bengals first half -6.5 and -115. We have the over 51 at -115 in Titans Colts. We have Panthers, Falcons, Darnold touchdown at +260 and Panthers +9, Patriots +10.5. A teaser for us. Jacksonville Zoe says, I like any teaser with the Pats included. Jacksonville Zoe 3-1 on our show last week. Looking very good. Clint, my man, have yourself a giant Sunday. I noticed that you have not included your Vikings in this spot. Vikings now 2.5 or 3-point favorites. That total opening up at 53, now 52 or 51.5. Why are you not moving on the Vikings? What do you think about this? Dak Prescott in or possibly out of the lineup? And how do you see this game banging out?
I'm glad you're giving me a second, Jimmy, because I wanted to give a PSA to the people. This is a public safety announcement, Jimmy. You do not lay points with my Minnesota Vikings right now. With the way they're play calling, with the way the coach is playing these games, Every single damn game will come down to a touchdown or a field goal. So even if my Vikings do win, they're not going to cover you a -3. If you get a -2.5, you got a shot, but your best chance is a push with that 3. We know that these Cowboys are dangerous. We know these Cowboys have that deadly offense. I think this game can go one of two ways, man. It could be a shootout, or both teams could just spend all day running on each other with these hardcore running back cores that they've got right now. Either way, they're able to keep pace with each other. It's going to be a tight game. If you're going to take the Vikings, lay it on the money line, as scary as that big number is. But, Jimmy, I damn near put the Cowboys in a teaser this week because I just don't think they're going to pull away. I think this is going to stay tight, and it'll be another one-score game.
My man, Clint, you are 0.76 units away from cracking the top 5 here on our show. I hope that you get there. Good luck, my friend. Thank you for joining us. You're looking good, Clint. Have a great Halloween. And I wish your Vikings the best of luck. But more importantly, I wish you get paid in full today. Thank you so much for joining us, my man.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Good luck, Jimmy. Love you, buddy. See you later.
Love you too, pal. There he is, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast, Clint in the house. We go from Clint to our third-ranked capper on our show. He's tasted the sweet fruits of being our number 1 ranked capper. He's still in the top 5 ranked number 3rd, and he is the only capper to come on the show and have, actually, that's not true. There's 2 cappers that have come on the show and had a perfect day. One was our guy right off the top, who had Sonny Vega, who went 3-0-1. So it was he did have one push, but Ski, the second time he made this show, he went straight 5-0 fire. He is 7-4 on this show. Let me pull it up. 7-4 plus 2.72 units, ROI plus 24.73%, average line minus 108, and easily one of the sharpest handicappers in our community. Please welcome to the show, coming to us live from Las Vegas, Ski Profit in the house. Ski, what's happening, my man?
What up, Jimmy? Great to be back capping with you. And the last time I was on this show, I'm still pissed off about the one game. I think it was Cowboys versus Patriots, and I had Cowboys team total under 27.5. And I remember my breakdown, I said all that has to happen is as long as Mac Jones doesn't throw a pick 6. And they just had to get one first down. He throws a pick 6 and somehow gets over 27.5.
I don't mean to laugh, sorry, but I was watching it too. It was 2 minutes left, and it was the right bet. And everyone who was on the under and on that team total unders, it was the right bet. And sometimes you just get burnt, and that was a sad one. And even with getting burnt, I mean, imagine that you'd be sitting here at 8-3 on the show. 7-4 still a very, very good record. We can't wait to hear you break down these spots that you are attacking. Ski Profit opens his game. Actually, his Ski Profit's card is all afternoon action. So let's get started with Ski. 4:05 p.m. Eastern, New England Patriots at Los Angeles Chargers. This is just so much fun. I can't wait to watch this game. Chargers open up as 5.5-point favorites. It's now 4s. There still are 4.5s, but 4s are on the board. And this total's gone up from 47.5 to 49.5 to 50.5 for the Patriots. Brandon King out with a thigh injury. And then, again, it's just this Bill Belichick injury report. You have 14 guys injured, but almost all of them were at least limited participants so they can play. So I'm not going to bother going through these 14 guys that are all most likely going to be in the lineup. The big issue right now is Austin Eckler. Staley says he's real hopeful he can play. He had soreness in his hip after Friday's practice, so Justin Jackson, Joshua Kelly would look like they'd get a ton of extra reps. Even if he's in the lineup, you have to be a little concerned with this spot. I don't know what Ski's action is. I just know it's Patriots-Chargers, so I'm all ears. I'm excited to hear it. Take it away, Ski.
Well, I think I got an alert this morning that said Austin Eckler is in, if I'm not mistaken.
I expect him to play. But if I was coaching Eckler and he's dealing with the hip injury, I certainly would be giving carries to both Jackson and Kelly. I expect, I just wouldn't give him a full load today when he's so important to the offense.
I get you. I'm going to start this breakdown off and say, first of all, if you don't know, I am a Chargers fan. So there's some kind of bias in how I'm handicapping this game a little bit. You can take it for what it's worth. But I look at this game. Chargers laying anything more than like 3 points. Like, I don't trust the Chargers to really win by margin like that. I know we got a new coach, a new quarterback. I love Herbert. I think the coach is pretty solid, but the Chargers still have to show me that they're that kind of team that I can lay points with. I think of the Chargers more of a dog type team or a pick 'em type team. And especially when you have the worst run defense in the league. I mean, you're playing Bill Belichick. He always is going to exploit whatever your weakness is. It's not that hard to exploit the 32nd ranked run defense. So I'm looking at that. And if they can run on the Chargers, they'll open up the pads. You know, Chargers usually drop 2 safeties and dare you to run anyway. So I'm thinking like that. And I look at the Chargers, who the Chargers have played and beaten, and how everybody's reacting to them. I just think they're a little bit overrated. Like, they beat the Chiefs, but everybody's beating the Chiefs. The Chiefs are like the bottom of the AFC West. They beat the Browns, but the Browns put up like 40-something points on them. I don't think that's that impressive of a game. And they did that with Baker Mayfield with the torn labrum. So Chargers still have to prove it to me. I got Patriots plus 4.5, and I think Chargers probably win by 1 point maybe.
I love it. That gives me more confidence on my look. You got Pats plus 4.5. What was the juice? Minus 110?
Yeah, it's minus 110. I'll double check. I'm pretty sure it was minus 110.
It's all good. All good. Gerald Jones got the 5.5. I mean, it reached that early 5.5 spot, and a lot of people attacked it. I got in at the same 4.5. I love seeing that. Love seeing that you are betting against your team, which is something that Pistol Pete Loshak always looks out for. Any fan betting against their team, he jumps all over. All right.
I'm mad at myself, though, because this is the first game that jumped off the page to me. I saw it early at plus 6. And the first thing I thought was exactly what I said in the breakdown. Like, the Chargers laying 6, and I let it trickle all the way down. I couldn't help but get involved still, though.
Yeah, I mean, coming off of a bye, I mean, we're going to learn a lot about the Chargers here, about Staley. We're going to learn a lot here. I love that you're on the Pats plus 4.5. Let's move on to the next spot for you. Jags, Seahawks. We've talked about this game already. We've seen Noli Nose on the under. I moved on the under at midnight. Dommy Gun Ricci has come in and moved on the under as well. We have the Seahawks opening up as minus 3. Then they go to 3.5. That's when I moved on the Jags. And obviously I should have waited. They are now at 4. Birdie made an interesting note in our chat. He said that he doesn't think it's the public that's on the Seahawks. So the public wouldn't bet the Seahawks after what they've seen from Geno Smith. He thinks this is all, sharp money that's doing this. The 60% of the tickets are on the Seahawks, 52% of the cash, and then 63% of the tickets, 83% of the cash on the over in this spot, and we're on the under. I'm nervous. About this spot. Maybe Ski will either calm my fears or make me more nervous. Take it away, Jags, Seahawks.
Well, in my opinion, the sharps are on the Jaguars. I just know a lot of sharp bettors that a lot of them have the Jaguars in their pocket. So that's what I think. I disagree, though. I like the Seahawks. I look at both of these teams. Neither defense is great. I mean, the Jags have the 31st ranked pass defense. And, I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about Geno Smith and how bad he is. But they just played a couple of tough defenses, didn't they? They played New Orleans. They played Pittsburgh, and they played the Rams. Now you're going to play the Jaguars defense. I think they're going to let him be a little bit more aggressive through the air, and I think he'll have success. Like the first game he came in, he had success, and just playing a much softer defense, I like that for Seattle. As far as third down defenses, Seattle's still top 10 and Jaguars bottom 10, so I like that. The only thing is it's a short week for Seattle. Jags off for a bye, but I just still think the Jaguars aren't that good. And I look at who the Jags have played so far, too. They play one quality team, and they still have these bad stats. Like, they only played the Cardinals. Everybody else has been pretty bad. They played Houston, Cincinnati, Denver. I don't know. I see nothing from this Jaguars team to make me want to take plus 3.5. I think it's a short number. I actually got the Seahawks at minus 3. If they're minus 4, it does give me a little bit of hesitation, but I think the Seahawks can win this game by 6 points.
It makes me very nervous. What did you get the Seahawks at?
I got them at minus 3, minus 120. And, also, who do the Jaguars have to guard Metcalf and Lockett? So And you know, it's also interesting to me. My girl Kelly, she said, "quote unquote," stop throwing money at shit teams, and she bet the Jaguars this week. One of the she follows a lot of sharp guys too. So, like I said, the sharp people are on the Jaguars, but I agree with that statement. Like, stop throwing money at shit teams. The Seahawks are clearly better. They just faced some tough defenses lately. They'll win by 6 points, I think, in this one.
I get it. Who says Jimmy gets nervous when he makes bets? Yeah, I fucking do. I do. Not all bets. Some I get confident with, more confident. Some I get more nervous about. I hear what you're saying. I think what changed for me was watching Trevor Lawrence improve and improve and improve. And now he's coming off a bye week. And I'm not going to sit here with a ton of confidence saying that, he's going to, have his best game against the Seahawks defense that's looked good, although it was very conservative offense from the Saints last week. It's so conservative. But I do think that it's up to Trevor Lawrence whether these Jags can cover. I understand what you're saying about the very talented Seattle Seahawks wide receivers, but I think Geno Smith can do the job. But I think that we're going to learn a ton about Trevor Lawrence here coming in off of the bye, and I expect him to be the difference maker to keep this within a field goal. My guy,
You're on the Jags, Jimmy?
Yeah, I took the Jags at plus 3.5. Yeah, okay. I think they can keep this within a field goal. I think if they're down late, Trevor Lawrence can move the football, I'm putting faith in Trevor Lawrence here because I've seen noticeable improvement week in and week out. And now he's coming off a bye. We'll see. We'll see. And Remo says, I know you'll ask him his thoughts on the total. Yes, I have to, because there's, most of the cash is on the over, but we're all on the under. What do you think of this, Spotsky?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Jimmy. I heard, I know Noli, he broke it down. I think he's on the under, right? You're on the under. You just said yourself, you think Trevor Lawrence can move the ball on the Seahawks defense. You think the Jags defense is going to stop anybody? Like, these are two of the worst defenses in the league right now. I don't see how you can really play it under myself. I would be over or nothing in this game.
What I like about what Geno Smith is doing is that he's being very conservative. They're not going to lose the game because of Geno Smith, but they're certainly not going to win the game because of him.
But don't you think that's because of who they play? Like, you're throwing Geno Smith versus really good defenses. You don't want them to do too much, but you're throwing him out there versus one of the worst defenses. You might let go a little bit, let him do a little something.
I don't think no. I think that he's being coached not to lose the game, personally. So I think he's not going to make any mistakes. There's not going to be pick sixes. He's not going to be wild. He's going to try not to leave the pocket. So I just see him continuing to play very conservative. The Seattle Seahawks can win a low-scoring game, but if this becomes a high-scoring game, I think they're in trouble. I do. I think they're in trouble if this is a shootout of any kind. This is more that I think that the home team will dictate the pace, and the Seahawks are a better football team than the Jaguars. So why take any risks? That's how I see it. Personally. So we'll see how this bangs out. But ski on the Seahawks -3 at -120. Then we move on to a game that everybody wants to talk about. I'm so happy that you are talking about it. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at New Orleans Saints. We know that Antonio Brown ruled out Sunday, and Gronkowski has a chance to play. There's also Levante David has a chance to play. So we could have Levante David. We could have both Gronk and David in, and we'd love to see that. So Buccaneers have Antonio Brown out, Gronkowski, Jason Pierre-Paul, Richard Sherman, Levante David, and D. Delaney, all questionable. For the Saints, Andrews Pete, pectoral, running back Dwayne Washington, neck, quarterback Taysom Hill, concussion, defensive end Peyton Turner, calf, all out. Deontay Harris is questionable. But with Pete, it looks like Pete's going to miss the rest of the season. So Throckmorton is expected to start at left guard. I'm not entirely sure how that is going to affect them. It's not going to be a positive. I don't know how negative that's going to affect them. Tampa Bay is now -4. They've run the whole gamut here, right? They've gone from Let me just move this up here. They opened at -4. That lasted for 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, they were -5. And this is all at Pinnacle. And then by that evening, they were 5.5. And then it started moving the other way, 4.5. And now 4. By the way, it didn't move to 4 at Pinnacle until an hour and 7 minutes ago. It moved to 4. And then in the cash flow in this spot, and I have no skin in the game. I have no bet on totaler side here. 70% of the tickets are on the Bucks, and 68% of the cash are on the Bucks, and then 44% tickets on the under, 51% cash on the under. I can't wait to hear your breakdown, Ski. Take it away.
Yeah, I'm simplifying stuff this week, Jimmy, and I look at Tampa Bay in general. They play a lot of easy competition. Like if you're going to look at their stats, it's going to be inflated because they're playing really bad teams like Atlanta, Chicago, Miami hasn't been great. They've been giving up a lot of points, and one more team I'm forgetting, but they play a lot of easy competition. When they play any team that was good, New England's not even good, and they gave them a game. You get it, Tom Brady going back to New England, so I understand that one. The Rams, they lost. The Cowboys, they played a tough game, and I think it was a 2-point game over there. So when they play competition, I don't think you want to expect them to win by margin because their defense isn't that good. I mean, their secondary is definitely going to be vulnerable. So not that I'm a big Winston guy, but I think he'll be good enough to get a win or play a close game in this one. And like you mentioned, AB out, Gronk questionable. That gives Lattimore a chance to lock down on Evans. So I think the Saints defense can play good. I talked about who the Seahawks have played, and they play good defenses, and that's why their game plan was like that. I think the Saints defense is going to play good again. We saw they played Tampa Bay last year. I don't even think Tampa Bay scored a touchdown in one of those games. So I think they'll get pressure on Brady. I think Lattimore locks down Mike Evans, and I think the Saints are in this game. So I took them plus 4.5.
That's a great breakdown. Plus 4.5 on the Saints. You have a really exciting card, man. A really exciting card. 7-4 on the show. Currently ranked number 3 in Kings of the Cap here at 7-4 plus 2.72 units, down 0.11 units from second. And then Billy Briz, comfortable up top right now. Let's review Ski's action here. He's on the Patriots plus 4.5, Seahawks -3, and Saints plus 4.5. Alvin Smith says, never bet against Tom. You will lose. That's true at home, but certainly not on the road. He's not been covering on the road. Dommy Gunn says, first time I don't like the Saints. I've been riding them, but love the Bucks here. I'm very comfortable here that Jacksonville Zoe said, I think I saw Lattimore out. What do you mean? I have not seen that.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
And,
hopefully not.
That's very important information. Lattimore is good to go. Lattimore is good to go.
Okay, you're making me nervous over here.
Oh, it made me nervous. Just how would we cap the game and not talk about that? So plus 4.5 here on the Saints. I can't wait to watch that game. Exciting. You got an all afternoon action for you, Ski. Very, very exciting. Thank you so much for joining us. You can catch Ski Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. on our NBA Pub Hub show. And he's been spectacular on betting with the bag as well. He swept the board on his first betting with the bag show, and sometime 5-0. And 5-0 here on week 2. So let's get another board sweepage for our guy, Ski Prop. Thank you so much for joining us, my man. Have a great Sunday.
You as well. Good luck to everybody.
There he is, Ski Profit in the house. We go from Ski Profit to Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy headlining this bad boy. Dutchy, what's happening, my man? How are you?
Jimmy the motherfucking bag. Yeah, man. Feeling good. Feeling fresh. You know what I'm saying? What is it? Halloween Sunday. Motherfuckers going to be in their costumes. I will be in mid-consuming a lot of kush and a lot of brew. That's what I'm going to do. And you know what we came here to do, bro? Hit the bookie straight over the motherfucking head. Let's get to it, my man.
Let's get to it. So we had Bebsie give out some props, but usually we have a ton of props, and we love hearing Dutchy's props, but they're not all props for our Dutch Boy Fresh. He gets his card started with his very interesting Philadelphia Eagles at Detroit Lions game. This market's been moving all over the place, and it's back to 3. I always have Prince of the City in my ear when I think about backing Philadelphia, but now that it's back to 3, I don't see why I wouldn't at this point. We have for the Eagles, Zach McPherson, hamstring, cornerback Miles Sanders out. Anthony Harris, safety, is doubtful. And then J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, back injury. For the Lions, Trey Flowers, knee. Cornerback Jerry Jacobs, illness. Cornerback A.J. Parker, neck. DeAndre Swift, groin. And Jamal Williams, thigh. And I believe it's already been reported on this show that Jamal Williams is out. So DeAndre Swift's going to get a ton of run here today. And from the cash flow side of things in this Lions-Eagles game, 46,605 tickets in. 39% of tickets, 68% cash on the Eagles. And then 53% tickets, 60% cash on the over. I'm on the over in this spot. Take it away, Dutchie, your first spot on the board, Eagles-Lions.
Yeah, real quick. I said much love to the chat, man. Salute. I appreciate the love. You already know it's all love. Yeah, this game, Jim, I'm going to be, I really feel like we got value here with the Lions, particular first half. I am on the first half plus 2.5 at even money. Now the Lions, we know they're a gritty team. They play well out. They did get smacked their ass at home against the Bengals. Time before that, played pretty well against the Ravens. Lost a close one with that 64-yard field goal, I believe it was. But the Lions did play well. They showed up for the boy, the quarterback Goff last week. They went back home to LA, facing his former team. They actually put up 415 yards. First 16 points in that first half, which is the most they've scored so far this year. I just think realistically, boss, we're getting a team that's going to come in and we're going to get a full 4 quarters of 100%, especially early. We know the coach. They kind of seem like they got a bond over there. I know they're not the most talented team, but I know one thing, they're going to give 100%. I look for them to keep this game close outright, but definitely first half. I look for them actually to be up, but give me the 2.5 at even money. Now, the Eagles are 0-6 in their last 6 ATS first halves, Jim. If you watch them, they start off real slow. Hurt is fucking garbage halfway through the game. Third or fourth quarter, he starts making some plays. The last 3 first halves, they've averaged 6.6 points per half. So that tells you they're not doing much the first 2 quarters of the game. Look for the Lions to jump out to a quick lead and keep that going into halftime. Plus 2.5 even money, my guy.
That's how Dutchie gets his card started. Lions first half plus 2.5 at plus 100. Then he moves over to Bengals Jets. We've talked about this spot, 62 Fahrenheit, cloudy, 11 miles per hour. Nice weather across the field today. And we have, or all the fields, I should say. We have a look for Dutchie on the Bengals first half. Mike White starting for the Jets. I moved on the under in this spot, and I might move on the Jets team total under. Might. But I can't wait to hear this breakdown. Take it away for us, Dutch. Bengals Jets.
Yeah, Bengals. Yeah, I arrived late to the show tuning in, Jim. So I did catch, my guy Dom Ricci OG just zooming, doing his thing as he bounced out real quick. But I believe he was on the Bengals, and then I caught a little bit of the Braids. Mr. Viking, our guy, MMA. I don't know. The skulls is dope, but I don't know about them little brown braids, bro. You might want to cut them motherfuckers off. That was fucking with you, bro. But yeah, so to me, this is a clear Jets fade. I believe, I'm not the only one that can see it clearly. The Jets last 5 are 1-5 ATS in the first. This season are 1-5 ATS in the first half. They're 1-2 in their last 3 first halves, averaging 5.6 points per half. They don't fucking score hardly at all per games, but they sure as hell don't score that much in the first 2 quarters. Now the Bengals, on the other hand, are 3-0 ATS, and keep in mind that was with Mr. Zach fucking Wilson. Now with the Bengals are 3-0 ATS last 3 first halves on the road, 2-1 ATS first halves in their last 3. And the Bengals I just like the Bengals here. They're averaging they're scoring a little bit more in the first halves. And like our guy, Diehard MMA said, Mr. Clint, they got a big game next week. I look for them to come out feeling themselves. They're coming off of some, playing good ball and just get this job done. Be up easily double digits. I don't mind the 11, but I love this minus 6.5 first half, Jim. So I'm going to lock in that first half minus 6.5.
Bengals first half minus 6.5 for Dutchie.
It's Barrow.
we move on. We move on to a player prop in the Titans Colts game. We've talked about this throughout the show. A huge market move towards the Colts, and now Pinnacle as well, sitting at -3. Pinnacle as well. This total has gone from 48.5 to 51, but now it's from opener. It's like at Sports Interaction. Let's use them as an example. A 5.5 point move from the Titans opening up at -2.5 to the Colts at -3. You got a player prop you're attacking. Take it away.
Yeah, man. I don't know if anybody's touched on this yet, but I'm loving Jonathan Taylor over 78.5 rushing yards, -115. Went over this number 3 of the last 4, Jim. He's averaging 102 yards his last 4 games, averaging 5.5 yards a carry on the season. Now, the Titans, they've had their way. They've actually had their way a little bit easy, I believe, when it comes to the running back perspective. They haven't really went against any real strong lead backs. The last lead back they went against was James Robinson. He went for 18, 149. And those two guys kind of remind me a little bit of the same of each other, to be honest with you, Jim. Now, these two teams did play week 3. He had 10 carries for 64 yards, averaging 6.4 yards a carry, obviously. They lost that game. They started off 0-3. They've won 3 of their last 4, and what I think they did, Frank Wright has done, is say, hey, we got to get the ball to our fucking best player. Carson Wentz is not the best player on this team. It's Jonathan Taylor. The last 4 games, now keep in mind, they've went 3-1 these last 4, Jim. He's averaging 16.4 carries a game. So they've upped the fucking carries. They said, hey, this is our best guy. If he's not going to – he's also a weapon out of the backfield, but this guy's got talent written all over him. He's him and my guy Javonte Williams over there in Denver, of course, are the only 2 players in the NFL with 3 30-plus rushes. So he could break this motherfucker deep in 1, but consistently give this guy the ball. I expect a closer game. The line is telling us we're going to get a close game. I don't trust either one of these defenses. All I need Frank Wright to is continually give my guy Taylor the ball. 15-plus carries, easy money. 80-plus yards, easy, Jim. Over 78.5 rushing yards, my guy.
I like it. I like it a lot. We have Taylor over 78.5 rush yards at -115. And you do have company here. We have our guy, Eric Chang, running with you on that Taylor rush prop.
I fucks with Eric.
Yeah, good guy. Great guy. And there he is in the chat. Billy Brisbane rolling with us, ranked number 1 here on the show.
I noticed you talk about my record, too. Shout out to my guy, Billy. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday or Tuesday, my guy. But yeah, I had to hit up Jim. I said, with my record on the show, it's only Sundays. I'm a profitable Thursday NFL capper, but on Sundays, today I'll get back in the black. But so far with these rules, I am a little in the negative on a Sunday. Yeah.
You have been very hot on Thursdays. I know. I don't mean to laugh at it, but you have been very hot on Thursdays. And you started hot. Week 3, you started very hot. Here you went 4-2 at 1 point plus 1.55 units. You're right there. You're very, very close to the black, and you can get there very easily with the amount of back you have here. Nasty Nate says, what did the Falcons open at? Falcons opened at 2.5, and they're back there right now. Pinnacle just moved it to 2.5. Bodog just moved it to 2.5. A lot of big market moves happening right now as we speak, and we'll go over them all before kickoff. So we have 30 minutes before kickoff. We move on to Jacksonville Jags, Seattle Seahawks. So just so you guys know, we have Jags Seahawks, and then we get to talk more Buccaneers Saints. And then I have to ask Dutch about this Broncos Washington football team spot as he knows this Broncos team inside and out, and I'm a little nervous about my action on Washington, so we will close with that. Let's move on to this Jacksonville Jaguars, Seattle Seahawks spot. We spoke a lot about it with Ski. He's on the Seahawks -3. I'm on the Jags +3.5. You've got a side here and a player prop. Take it away.
Uh-oh, me and Ski always trying to go for his throat. Okay. Yeah, man. Hey, I like the 3.5, 4 with Jacksonville. I locked it in at 3.5. I believe it's up to 4 now. I seen it at Willie when I looked this morning. Now, to me, the Hawks are just I don't like Geno. First of all, I like a team coming off a bye. I like a team firstly with Jacksonville coming off their first win. But this to me on a short week, this is a clear fade of Seattle. And I know last time I was on here, I kind of, I don't want to say I stuck up for Urban Meyer, but I'm just saying I was like, mind your own fucking business. And I did bet Jacksonville. And, let's just say it was a long fucking night. But Tennessee put it on that ass. But I still stand by my side. Mind your fucking business, all right? But back to what matters. I'm going here. I'm loving Jacksonville here in this spot. The Hawks are 0-3 at home, or 0-3 straight up at home this year, Jim. They're not handling business at the house. And then also this was two of these was with Russell. Now they're 1-2 ATS at the house, obviously. Now they've averaged 15 points per game under Geno, kind of keeping the wraps on them. Not too impressive at all. They're 1-5 straight up in their last 6 games. Seattle. This is not a good team. I'm not very impressed with their defense. Their running backs, they don't have the running backs. We got fucking Collins now being questionable. He hasn't practiced all week. Carson's is out. So you tell me Geno going to come in there on a short week and you want to lay more than a fucking field goal with this guy? Fucking forget about it. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars all day. To me personally, they have the 2 best players on the field, and that's Trevor Lawrence and my guy Robinson. I believe strictly they'll get this game. I think they're going to win outright, but Jacksonville's a little fucking tricky. I'm not too confident with them actually fucking saying that they're going to win the fucking game. So give me the 4, give me the 3.5 in the hooker, and we're going straight to the window, Jim, with that look all day. I believe Jacksonville off a bye, off their first win. Trevor Lawrence has continued to improve, and Seattle just isn't it. They're not it. This isn't a spot to fade the Jags, in my opinion.
I love it. I'm in agreement. I like what Geno Smith is doing. It's not his fault. It's never going to be his fault. He's going to keep it conservative. So,
Yeah, I mean, he's played better than expected, but also they haven't asked him to do too much,
Yeah, and I think that will continue. I really think that will continue here.
I like that underlook.
+3, and you like the underlook. Good. I like hearing that as well.
No, I do I got a prop too. My fault.
Yeah, you have. Well, why don't you just touch on the total here because you just mentioned it, and then go into your prop.
Yeah, the under, I just think it's going to be a lot of running. Like you mentioned, I don't think they're going to they're going to say, Geno, go ahead and try to fucking throw it to Metcalf fucking 15 times. I just don't see it. I think they're going to try to, it's a short week too, keep in mind. So preparation has been limited as well. So I don't see it. Maybe coming off a bye like Jacksonville, I expect them to we see a little bit more out of them this week. But to me, James Robinson is going to be the guy today. Seattle's so fucking suspect on the defense, boss, especially against the run. I mean, they're 30th in the run, on run D, giving up 134 yards per game. The 5 prior games, now they did just play on the short week against New Orleans. And, Kamara, he only had about 50 yards. Now, Winston did rush for over 40 yards himself as well and 8 carries. But Kamara had 130 yards out of the backfield. They used him more as a weapon there. So that was the only time in the last 6 games they have not gave the lead back 80+ yards. The 5 prior games to that, 80+ yards to every single running back they've seen on their fucking schedule, minimum, Jim. And now James Robinson coming off a bye, over 69.5. I got this at -135 last night at BetMGM because it was 71.5, 72.5, -110 everywhere else. So I went ahead and laid the juice. He's going for 75+ easy. He's averaging 76.6 yards per game on the season. He's picked up his pace though the last couple. So believe me, he's doing what he's doing. He's had 150-yard game. He's their lead back. Give him the carries easy. He's averaging 5 yards per carry. And this is simply more of, not only do I believe he's a talented running back, but I'm straight up attacking this fucking rush defense of Seattle. This defense, period, is not to back. But that rush defense, they can't fucking stop a nosebleed. So James Robinson going to run it all day over them. He's going for 100+ today. Easy 75+, Jim.
I love it. Jags +3.5. Robinson over 69.5. And he has support for our under in Jaguars, Seahawks. Move on to Bucks, Saints. You have a first half move on a side, and you have a player prop in this spot. We've spoken on the injuries, the market moves, but only Bebsie has got the same side that you have here, and then the prop is all yours. Take it away.
Bebsie's on the first half as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bebsie knows what's up, man. He's drinking some good shit today. I see it. I see you, Bebsie, my man. All right. Well, this game to me, I don't understand all the love for the Saints. First of all, it's a short week as well, and they didn't look too impressive. I know they had the handcuffs for Monday night waiting for Tampa, but I'm telling you right now, like, you feel confident just with all the numbers, everything out the window, Jim. You feel confident saying, "Hey, I'm betting Jameis Winston against Tom motherfucking Brady, Tommy B." Man, get the fuck out of here. And I'm a Seminole, man. I got a lot of love. I did have a lot of love for Jameis. until a couple incidents, I had to kind of lead back a little bit. Kind of had to tell the wifey to put that number 5 jersey in the back of the closet. But, to me, this is a clear first half spot for Tampa. And I don't understand all the love at 4.5 for the game, but I'll stay away because there are some very sharp cappers on the Saints full game. But I really like the Bucs here -3 first half. They're 5-2 ATS first half on the season. Last 3 weeks, first half 3-0 ATS. They're averaging 26.6 points per half in that first half. They've been putting it on you. Talk about competition, whatever. These boys, they got weapons all over. I know we're talking about they don't have AB, but Gronk's coming back. All those guys that you said were questionable, from what I'm looking at, they're all fucking playing. So I look for, Lattimore is the one fucking guy out there that we could talk about. Okay, go to Godwin. Okay, go to Howard. Okay, they got Bernard out of the backfield. They got Fournette, who's fucking, who's shown that he could be a weapon out of the backfield as well. They're weapons all over the place. This is a clear first half spot for me, -3. Now, they've only allowed in the last 3 games as well in this span 6.6 points per half, Tampa. This is a clear Tampa spot first half. Now, New Orleans is 1-2 ATS in the first half in their last 3. And when I look at the schedule, outside in these last 3 games, they're 1-2 ATS in the first half. Jim is against Seattle, Washington, and the fucking Giants, right? And Seattle was with Geno. Now, when I look at the schedule too, also on this, is the best fucking quarterback they've seen, Jim, outside of week 1, which was kind of crazy with the Aaron Rodgers 38-3 game, is fucking Mac Jones, bro. That's the best guy the Saints have seen. So all these fucking defensive numbers is garbage. Daniel Jones busted her ass in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? DJ got off on that ass. I believe Tom Brady will go in there and do the same thing. Easy first half -3. Tommy being the boys handling business in New Orleans.
Bucks first half -3. I can't wait to see what Winston does here. It's a big opportunity for him against a team that wanted nothing to do moving forward with them. So I'm very excited to see what he's capable of in this spot. And I've not moved on it. And a lot of guys are making moves on it that I will be cheering for, but I'm sitting back and watching.
I personally think Jameis will have some yards because I'm not too confident in this Tampa defense, and I think there could be like a backdoor cover. I definitely expect Tampa to be up by 10 points here at a certain point, but I could see Jameis when making the run, kind of getting some numbers at the end when it doesn't matter. But he'll attack this secondary a little bit, but he ain't gonna make the plays. He's not gonna make enough plays to beat Tampa. It's a good story, sounds good, and all that shit. Get the fuck out of here! It's just not happening, bro.
You also have a prop here for a running back, and take it away. I think everybody will love it.
Playoff Lenny, huh? Lenny feeling himself a little bit. We're going back to Fournette. Had this look on Thursday night against the Eagles. I went over it a lot with you. We're going over 54.5 rushing yards, -115. Went over this number the last 4. He's averaging 80 yards in these last 4 games. Averaging 4.4 yards per carry. And against the Saints in the playoffs I know we touched on, they played 3 times last year, but in the playoffs, when this shit is real gritty, he had 17 carries, 67 yards versus him. And honestly, he's becoming more of a vocal point. He's the lead back. We talked about it. I went over it with you a lot on Thursday, a couple weeks back. Leonard Fournette's the guy, man. He's playoff. He ain't just playoff Lenny, man. He big boy Lenny in the backfield. And the defenders don't want to see this guy. As the game gradually goes, you feel him the more the game goes. He gonna lay that on you, and these guys aren't gonna attack. Easy 54.5, Jim. 80+ yards for my guy Fournette tonight.
Fournette over 54.5 rush yards. Before we review all of Dutch's action, I want to talk about this Washington-Denver game because we have not had a capper move on it. There was a couple spots on this board that we have had nobody move on. I know we haven't talked Cleveland-Pittsburgh, but we did briefly off the top with Bebenek as he's on Browns first half and full game. By the way, Pinnacle has moved that to 5.5 for Cleveland. So we were waiting for the money to come in on Cleveland. It came. The other spot that we have not had anybody move on was Miami-Buffalo. Buffalo opening up as 13.5-point favorites. Pinnacle and Bodog have just moved that to 15. That total has dropped a point from 49.5 to 48.5. But we have Dutchie, so let's talk Broncos. This opened up at 425, and I am very nervous about what I'm seeing here from the market, and maybe Dutch can help us figure out why this is happening. I unfortunately moved on Washington +3 earlier in the week on Tuesday night. They had opened at 3.5. They went down to 3. Pinnacle, Bodog, Bet365 have all moved it to 4. Some of the dicey offshore books that we don't talk about have moved it to 4.5 for the Broncos as favored here. And we have 31,057 tickets in. I'm nervous. I think I'm setting up myself for an L. 48% of the tickets are on Denver. 84% of the cash is on Denver. Huge bets have come in on Denver. 41% of tickets are on the under. 68% of cash is on the under. Do you agree with this big market move to your boys, and why aren't you on them today?
Okay, so I don't think Von Miller is going to play. I think he's going to be a late scratch. Something's with his ankle. They're going to give him pregame, but man, I mean, why risk it? Really, right now, I don't think he's going to play. Ian Rapp reported that it's looking like he's not going to play. That they're going to be real cautious with it. So I won't be surprised if Vonnie sits. But to be honest with you, I can't. I think this is a Denver spot at home, but if you could give me 4 with Washington, I'd have to take it, Jim. This is what's going to happen here. And everyone thinks because Judy's coming back, it's just going to free up everything. And we do have Oakley coming back too. I believe he's going to suit up the second tight end. He's nice, but the problem is Teddy can't be protected, and this might be a spot where we see Young really get off, really have his game. This is supposed to be an elite front seven. We haven't seen too much of it, mainly due to that secondary. But the offensive line for Denver is suspect. I can't lay no points with the. I could see him in a pick'em, Jim. I could feel confident. But laying anything more than a field goal with the Broncos, with that offensive line, and we have no fucking linebackers, and now they're talking about Von Miller's not going to play. I want to be saying this is a Denver spot because Judy's back and we got a couple guys back on, in the second and on the defensive end with and Oakley, the tight end. But to me, this is a clear Redskins. If you could get 4.5, I mean, I might have to jump on that later in the day, Jim, because I just don't think the offensive line will hold up throughout the day.
Well, and I know you read about your Broncos throughout the week, but if you think that Von Miller's not going to be in the lineup or not going to be good to go, then I would bet that sooner rather than later, because if that's announced, that's going to change. Yeah. For Washington, Scherf is now, he's been out of late, but looks like, he's questionable, but he can play. At least he's been upgraded. But Johnny Brown, Sam Cosmi, offensive tackle, and Curtis Samuel are all out right now. Sims practiced. Scherf practiced. They practiced limited, and William Jackson practiced, their cornerback. So they need those guys in the lineup. And then Gibson's still dealing with that shin injury, so he barely practiced. And their plan to designate Judy off of injured reserve and play him, but he did not practice on Friday.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on Judy here?
He's going to be out there. He's going to be out there, but I honestly think they're counting on him more as just as to help the other receivers get open. You know what I mean? Not as any. Of course, I think Bridgewater's going to look for him, but I don't even know if he should be out there really, to be honest with you. But they're trying to get him back because they're so high on this kid, and he's a stud. Look what he did before he got hurt. It was an unfortunate injury. I just hope they're not rushing it back. I think they might be looking at Vaughn more as they don't want to nick him up because maybe some trade value here. I don't know, but this is going downhill quickly with Denver. There's nothing I'm not seeing anything, especially from the offensive line going against that front seven that I want to back the Broncos. But I hope they show up today. I hope Teddy gets it in that secondary, man. God damn, they've been playing below expectations. So right now, I don't have very high expectations for the Broncos, Jim. And I know all the reports are they're going to win this game, and the line's going up to 4 and all this. But to me, I just think, wow, Redskins, or whatever the fuck you want to call them at 4. I'll probably have to bet that.
Great breakdown. It's 13 minutes till kickoff. We're going to close the show and give you guys time to add a move. While I have you here, Dutch, I'd like to ask you about the only spot. So I can understand the Jets team total under. I've already got the full game under. I do not want to double up on that, but I'm close to moving on the Eagles. Now, the market's moving so fast on this spot, and it feels like the last 30 minutes money's been coming in on the Eagles. Now it's minus 120, and I don't know if I want the added juice on an added bet here at minus 120, but I'm thinking of moving on the Eagles. I know that this has not been, it's not part of your. You have the Lions first half plus 2.5 and plus 100, and but you haven't moved full game.
Yeah.
Why did you only take the first half, and what? I guess you should, if you're not on it and you have the other side first half, should you move me in the direction of staying off of this spot?
Yeah, I mean, I would just wait and bet. I mean, the way I capped the game personally, I would wait and bet the Eagles at halftime. Or when they're down. That's just the way I feel. Like I think that you could get value on the Eagles mid game. Like I said, they start off slow. They're having 6 points in the first half, Jim. But I do think Jalen Hurts seems to shine a little bit at the end. He makes bonehead plays the whole game, and then all of a sudden, this guy's making plays with his feet, making some off the wall throws. And I just think they are the better team. So, and what we've seen is the Lions find a way to lose the game, So I feel like they'll be competitive first half. And the way I see it is I wouldn't be surprised, shocked at all if the Lions win this game outright. But I do see the Eagles coming back and finding a way to win the game. I don't know if they're going to cover the 3 though.
I get it. And Ragu saying yes, move on the Eagles. I think what it comes down to for me is that last week I loved the Giants. I loved backing them off of being embarrassed, and it's the exact same cap here. There's really no difference except the Giants were at home again, and here the Eagles have to travel. But they were embarrassed, absolutely embarrassed. And that makes me want to back them here when they're questioning everything and then going into Detroit in a climate-controlled spot. Okay, I'll have to make that
probably
decision.
my least confident bet on the card, but the numbers told me the Lions out the spot here. So if that so if you like it, I'd fire it. But I think you'll find better value if you wait mid-game.
We have Robert Allen back in action with us. Great to see you, Robert Allen. Sharpie says Redskins money line. Thank me later, says Sharpie.
Hey, come on now with the low blow. Hey, nah, I'm telling you though, my money would be on that +4 all fucking day.
These are Sharpie's best bets, by the way. Henderson rush yards over 80.5 minus 114, Darrell Henderson. And then Damian Harris over 71.5 minus 114 for the Patriots. And I'm going to pop that here in the chat. Thank you for sharing that with us, Sharpie. And then let's review Dutchie's action and then do a full review. This is our Dutch boy, Fresh. This is his action here. Lions first half plus 2.5 and plus 100. Bengals first half minus 6.5 and minus 110. Taylor over 78.5 rush yards and minus 115. Jaguars plus 3.5 and minus 110. Robinson over 69.5 rush yards at minus 135. Bucks first half minus 3 minus 110. Leonard Fournette over 54.5 rush yards and minus 115. Follow our man Dutch on Twitter at DutchBoyFresh. Selfless capper. Just wants us all to succeed. And you can see him every day at 4 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday on our NBA Pub Hub, and you can see him on Betting with the Bag every Thursday. Dutchie, I love capping with you. You make it so much fun. First and foremost, you make it so enjoyable, and but also you're sharp, man, and it's just a treat that we all get to work with you all the time. Have yourself a giant Sunday. Any last words for these great cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, man, I appreciate you, Jimmy. It's always a blessing being with you, my guy. Salute to each and every last one of you motherfuckers. I appreciate all the love. Y'all stay fresh.
There he is, Dutch boy fresh. Eric Chang wanting an NBA show on the weekends. Also, Eric Chang swept the board in Chinese basketball last night. I love it. I hope you're tweeting that out, and I hope I'm following you because who doesn't want a little Chinese basketball action? Look, I might make my palms start sweating right now. I can get those games. I love it. There's Eric Chang in the house. Okay, let's do a quick review of everybody's action here. For me, I have Falcons -3, Pitt, Cleveland under 42.5, Philly, Detroit over 48, Cincinnati, New York Jets under 43, Rams, Houston under 47.5, Patriots, Chargers under 49, Washington +3, Giants, Chiefs under 52.5 on Monday, Patriots +4.5, Jags +3.5, and Jacksonville, Seattle under 44.5. And I think that I will be adding the Eagles. I think I will be adding the Eagles here in the next 8 minutes. Bebsie has the double up on the Browns first half and full game. He's got the Titans at a pick'em, which is a tough spot. Eagles -3, which is what I'll get right now. I'll get the same thing he got on Tuesday. That wasn't available for me on Tuesday night. It was only 3.5. Philly, Detroit over 47.5. New England Chargers under 23.5, but that's at +107 first half. Bucks first half -3. Bucks full game -5, and then he's with me on this under 52.5 on Monday. By the way, that on Monday it's gone down to 51.5, but the cash is on the over. Noli knows give us the under 43 at -108 in Cincinnati, New York Jets, and Jets team total under 15.5 -106. That's available at FanDuel. Then he gave us the under 48 in Eagles Lions. Robert Allen saying pound the under in the Eagles game. Robert Allen, I'm on the other side here. I'm on the over. Let's see. Is Pinnacle still at 48? Tell me they are. 48.5. Good. So, yeah, look, there's great cappers on the under. I'm a little nervous being on the other side. A little nervous. So, yeah, I don't like being on the other side of you and Dennis Garcia, and only knows. And then Jacksonville, Jaguars, Seattle Seahawks under 44.5. Sanka, thank you so much. We love capping with you, Sanka. Thank you for joining us. For Bebsie, he added the Kyle Pitts over 62.5 receiving yards. He had a Chase over 77.5 receiving yards. Herbert over 65.5 rush yards. Mitchell over 71.5 rush yards. He doubled up on the Cowboy spots. Elliott and Pollard over rush yards, 75.5, 42.5 respectively. Dommy Gun Ricci's on the Bengals, big. First half -6.5. He got -9 full game on Monday. And he's on Burrow over 267.5 pass yards. Kev Riley in the house. No, I'm not on Buffalo. I'm not on that game at all. Not on that game at all. And then we have for Dommy, Chargers -5.5. And he's got a teaser with the Chargers +0.5 and Cincinnati, Detroit over 42. And then he has the under 45 in Jaguars Seahawks. Then Bengals Jets for diehard MMA podcast. Clint, he's on the Bengals first half -6.5. Dommy Gun, Clint, and Dutch are all on the first half -6.5 for the Bengals. Thank you, Eric Thomas, my guy. Then over 51 for Clint in Tennessee Colts. And then he's on the Darnold 260 touchdown. Run, not pass. And Panthers +9, Patriots +10.5 teaser. Ski Profit is on the Pats +4.5, Seahawks -3, and Saints +4.5. Dutch Boy Fresh, Lions first half +2.5, Bengals first half -6.5. Taylor over 78.5 rush yards. Jags +3.5, Robinson over 69.5. And then he's got Bucks first half -3 and Fournette over 54.5 rush yards. There you have it. There you have it. We track every single pick that's put out by every single capper on this show with honesty and transparency, but we have no show without you guys in the chat. Thank you for making this show special. And Kevin Riley says, put in Buffalo first half full game. Now it wins. By the way, Kev Riley just white hot right now. Slatsy, my survivor pick is Bengals. But if I had Rams available, I would take the Rams. I don't have them available. I love you guys. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you to my producer, Jose, on the 1s and 2s with all the graphics and all the great stuff behind the scenes. Thank you to all of you guys in the chat. On behalf of everybody here at Pub Sports Radio, Jeff Slaughter, Jose, myself, and every capper who is on the screen, we can't do it without you, and thank you guys for your support. Let's have ourselves a Giant Sunday. Get that drink poured and get those winners coming in. Let's fucking go.